Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode. In today's video, we're going to be doing some puppy biting for the protection sport known as French ring. Bethany Preud'homme from PhD Canines and PhDogs is going to be explaining what's going to be taking place in this video. So get ready for an excellent time.
All right, so today we've got 4-month-old Rougarou du Poilu. He was also born here. We bred him, and now he lives with Sarah, who is his trainer. So I'm going to go over some of the things that we use for puppy foundation bite work. So I like a really soft, like sheepskin, so that way it's really easy for the dogs to grip into and play. This has a little bit of a bungee to it, so it's not too harsh on their mouth as if I'm kind of pulling it away like a rabbit. It also has a little handle so I can attach it to a whip to really get it going. So usually with young puppies, I'll start with something like this. And then I've got different surfaces here. So if you notice, I have 3 different things. I've got this soft, like fake sheepskin material. I've got the French ring linen, and then I also have jute. So I want the puppies comfortable and confident biting on different surfaces. If they get too used to biting on only one thing, you can create dogs that have a preference in their biting, and you don't want that. Or if you're only doing IPO and it's only going to be on jute, it's not a big, or IGP, it's not a big deal. And if you're only doing French ring, it's not a big deal if they only like the linen, but I like the dogs to be comfortable biting whatever. That way if you decide to switch sports later, it's not a big deal. So I've got my little puppy lamb thing. I've got a soft, big tug. Some people will put it over their shoe and use it to feed the dog like that. I use it to just kind of whip around and get a bite that way. I've got my soft puppy sleeves. A lot of times I'll actually throw these on my arms and give the dogs bites low so that way they can bite up here. But these I think are technically leg sleeves. And then I've got my jute puppy sleeves. They're really soft. It's really easy for the dogs to bite into them. And they're also really easy to take on and off. That's super important when you're dealing with puppies when you want them to win. I don't want to give them the reward when they're pulling back. I want to reward them when they've got a nice calm bite. And then for French ring, I've got my clatter stick. With puppies, I don't do a lot of contact with them. I just do a lot of desensitizing to the sound and the visual of it. And you can see he's ready to go, so we'll get started. So I'll just kind of, he's past this toy, but just to kind of show you how I play with it, we'll start with this. So the first thing that I want to do is just kind of wake up the puppy, so lots of movement and get him super excited. Ready? I can kind of whip it back and forth, make it dead, bring it back to life. Good, I can kind of chase him with it. Good boy. Make it a game. And then when I do give it to him, I want to make sure that I have a nice clear presentation. Good. I'm gonna let him rebite. Good. And then back and forth movement. If you notice Sarah isn't moving, she's acting like a tree or a post. Good. I can turn my body away, add a little bit of frontal pressure. The dog rebites, turn away. And then when I feel like he's doing really good, he can win. So Sarah's job is to not let him get down and start chewing. Her job is to keep him on the same spot. If he loses and he drops it on his own, she's not going to let him get it. She's going to kick it back. I'm going to steal it and build some frustration. So you can see he's trying to possess it with his feet. Good boy. So if he's doing really good, she can also let him back down and let him regrip and let him learn that if you really want it, you can keep it. A little bit of tension, let him have it. And now once he lets it go, I'm gonna run away and then we'll switch to a different. And this is just patience. We don't wanna be lifting his back feet off the ground. We're just waiting for him to let go. You notice as soon as he lets it go, Sarah puts him back on the ground. Same thing, wake him up, run around, be exciting. So if you see his style, see how he's hunting? Good. Clear presentation. Good, he gets it. Let him regrip. Way. Turn my body away from him. Square up. Regrips. Take off the pressure. Good. Good. Get him used to some touching. Good boy. I can pet his feet. Make sure he's comfortable with that. Good. Switch. Good. Oh. I can also sit down with him. Just make sure that he's comfortable crossing over me. Ugh. Good boy. And then again, let him win. So for this next bite, we're gonna switch to the puppy sleeve. So some puppies like the chase more than the possession. If you look at him, he's very content just holding it. So some puppies, I can make this exciting and he'll drop what he has to play with me, but you can see he doesn't care. So with him, we just wait for him to let it go. When he drops it, Sarah's gonna kick it away and I'm gonna get him refocused on this toy. But this time I'm gonna have her drag him in, which means she's gonna slowly let him pull in. Way. Once he bites, she turns into a post again. Rebite, good. Turn my body away, square up, rebites, good. So now I'm just getting him used to the sound of the stick. A little bit of pressure, turn it off. A little bit of pressure, turn it off. I can also pet the dog with it, he wins. Pet the dog with it, he wins. Now Sarah should be praising him a little bit more when he's in the bite. Good boy, yeah, get him. He's pretty cold, which means he's not super animated, so she can bring some more animation. But that's just his genetics. His dad is the same way. So now we're gonna do the other leg. It's super important that it's always right, left, right, left. If you do too many on one side, they will have a preference or they're not comfortable turning their head. Ready? So she's gonna let him drag in. Good. Woohoo! So he lost it. I make frustration and she's gonna do it again. Way. That time he bites. Regrip. Good. Good. If I have a dog that has kind of a munchy bite, I can also cradle him. He's fine, but I want him comfortable being covered. Good. And then I'm just doing little grip checks, pulling it. If he loses it, I run away. So now we're gonna change the surface one more time, and I'm gonna do it on my leg. So depending on the dog, sometimes I'll end the lesson with frustration, and sometimes I'll let them win, depending on what the dog needs. So based on his temperament and being pretty cold, he doesn't really get too frustrated. So for him, I'm gonna let him possess because that's what he really enjoys. So again, I'm gonna build that attention, show him which leg I want, and then she's gonna drag him in. Attack, 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 attack. Give him more leash. Good, attack, way, attack. So he's getting kind of tired. I can tell that his grip is changing. So I'm gonna just take it off of me, let him kind of cradle it. Good. And then she's gonna run to the car with him. If he drops it, she's not gonna let him repick it, he loses. Okay, go. So even though ideally I would do one more bite on the other leg, I would rather have it be uneven and on a good note than to push him where he's tired. His grip might start getting a little bit loose, not as hard. So even if you have the idea of doing something, the dog is the one that always kind of determines where the lesson goes. All right, so here we have Rocco Dupaloo. This puppy is a very different lines, very different genetics than the previous puppy. And you'll notice a big difference between the two puppies and also how I work the puppies. Way, good puppy, good. Attack, attack, good. Way, way, attack, way, good boy. Attack, way, good boy. Yeah, attack, way, good. Good. Way, good boy. Way, good puppy. Way. Did you bring back the other one? So with this puppy, I want you to watch the leash on the harness and watch how Jean-Luc handles the leash. Good. Attack. Way. Attack. Way. Attack. Voila. Attack. Way. Attack. Voila. Good boy. Attack. Way. Good. Voila. Way. Voila. Attack. Way. 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 You want to do a couple free? Ready? Shoo-hoo! Attack! Attack, 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 attack! Way, good. Voila! Woohoo! Ready? Ready, ready! Attack! Good. Good puppy. Good. And then you can win and go back. All right, so this puppy is also 4 months old. He doesn't quite have a name yet. I'm really embarrassed, but we've been calling him Hairball Jr. He's a brother to the last dog that came out with the red collar on. So we'll get started with him. Ready? Attack! Way, good puppy. Attack. Way, good boy. Good boy. Attack. Way. Way, good. Attack. Way. Good boy. Good. Let him, just, wait, hold on. Just hold him. See if I can get him to let him go. Just short. Here, way! Attack, 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 attack! Attack, 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 attack! Way! Voila, puppy! Attack! Way! Woohoo! voila, voila, oh, 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 good puppy. Wait, attack, 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 voila, way, oh, good, way. All right, so the 3 different puppies that we saw, 2 of them are brothers, the last 2 are litter mates. The first one is actually 6 days younger from a different litter than the other 2. But the 1 puppy and the 2 puppies are totally different lines. So if you watch their bite style, they're very, very different. So the first puppy, when you saw him with the bite work, he was almost hunting, right? He kind of got still and was just watching it go by, where the last puppy was pulling and barking and kind of going crazy. So just because the first puppy isn't showing that same motivation does not mean that by 2 years old isn't going to be same or higher quality than that 3rd puppy. So don't compare puppies, especially when they're different lines, because different lines are going to mature at different rates and have different qualities. So the first puppy that we saw, his dad is a French Ring 3 selective and has a really nice full pushing, really, really hard bite. So his style, if you saw every time that he bit, he had a nice full mouth. If you saw the second puppy, when he bit, he was very content with whatever he had. And his line is more French Ring, where they don't care, as long as the dog is biting, they don't care if he's biting with a more shallow mouth, because the dogs are trained to bite everywhere, including like right up here, which is impossible to have a full bite. So we are encouraging that puppy to have a full bite. So as I'm training the bite work, if he's biting with half a mouth, I kind of freeze up for a second, give him the opportunity to push in and get that full mouth. But if he doesn't, I'm gonna whip around and he's gonna learn that if he's biting like this, he's more likely to have it slip out and lose. Right now, it's kind of hard because of their age, they're beginning to teeth. So I really don't wanna do too much where I'm really pulling it out of the dog's mouth, because I don't want them to have a hurt tooth or get hurt and then have a negative association with the biting. So with puppies, a lot of it is just building up that drive, building up the motivation, seeing what you have, and then building it from there. So if I have a dog that bites really hard but is happy with just a part of its mouth, I'm gonna make sure that I'm only gonna reinforce, I'm only gonna let that puppy win the sleeve if they push in and they have a nice full grip. Like I said, the second and the third puppies are litter mates, but you see their gripping style is very different. So the last puppy that came out, when you see he bites full, he's really pulling on a leash. And again, every puppy is different. So this morning, because they get kind of free range, they get to run around, he may have been running around for 2 hours before we started training this morning. So if you have a dog that doesn't have as much gas in the tank or sometimes isn't totally committed, make sure that you, 1, don't feed them breakfast. That way they're food motivated when you come out to do your obedience. And 2, put them in the crate or make sure that they're kept quiet before they come out to bite work. That way they spend all of their energy doing this activity and not playing with their brother or barking at the neighbor or playing with your kids. So if you do have a dog that you are working on certain things, make sure that their life is kind of boring outside of the bite work at first, and that way they're really excited and all of their energy goes to this. At the same time, make sure you're taking your puppy out and socializing them, but if you let the puppy play for 2 hours before your bite work, don't be surprised if they don't bring 100%. They just don't have it to give.
Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed today's video. What an excellent training session. Notice how she kept them short, she kept them fun and very engaging, always giving the puppy the opportunity to win and leaving on a high note so they want to come back for more. If you are interested in doing protection training with your dog, we highly recommend finding a local club with professionals to help you every single step of the way. There will be links in the description for your convenience, as well as links for ways for you guys to learn more directly from Bethany and her team here at PhD Canines and PhDogs. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and don't forget to leave a comment.